Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back from a brand new video. Today's video we will be discussing the latest and breaking news coming at the football club and also turn our attention to Progres Niederkorn Revenge Part 2. Gonna be honest with you, it was when the words left my mouth that I realised what I just said sounded like a Steven Seagal movie for the late 90s. But moving away from CJ Hings, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we have Progres Niederkorn once again, and this time it's at their park. Now bring down the mood just a little bit, because we all know what happened the last time we played at that horrific stadium. One of the worst, most embarrassing results ever in Rangers Football Club's history happened at that park. This is the park where the Pedro in a hedge meme was born. And in saying that, I'd like Steven Gerrard to be kept at least 55 feet away from hedges, bushes, small trees, planted pots, and pretty much anything with leaves on it at this point. And I've had a couple of comments in the last 24 hours saying, aye, but we got beat the last time we went CJ, we got beat this, and this. We can't really compare our team now to what it was back then because, I mean, look at it, okay? That's the team that we played the last time we played there. Don't look away, look at it. Now, in saying that and talking about how different our squad actually is, we only have a 2-0 advantage coming away from home. And if you think about it, last time we had the 1-goal advantage. But it was a different game of football. I mean, it was so frustrating game to watch last week because Progres Niederkorn came in with a plan which was to sit with 2 banks of 4 and hit long balls to their skilled players. That's what they've done all night, and yes, it did kind of work for them because they did create the odd chance, but now all the pressure is on them now because they need to come at us and score. They can't sit back and soak up all the pressure and hit us on the counter. They need to be the ones to score. They're at home and they badly need the goals. And you might be thinking to yourself then, maybe we'll approach it too safe and too defensive and we'll be the ones that gets caught out. Well, Steven Gerrard was very quick to rule that out on the official Rangers YouTube channel ahead of tomorrow's game. During this press conference, he said that they're pretty much ignoring the 2-0 advantage. He has drilled into every one of the players that's going to be playing tomorrow that it is 0-0 and they need to go out there and win it within the 90 minutes. That is the mindset of these Rangers players. So it's all set up to be an absolute blockbuster. Because on one hand, you'll have us going out there to win because that's what Steven Gerrard demands, and these players know if they don't do what he wants, they're out the team and there's someone waiting to grab the shot. And on the other, like we've already said, Progres Niederkorn needs to be the one to come at us. So this could be the game where we actually see the scoreline we wanted to see last week, which was a cricket score. Now, something else I found very interesting from the press conference is the fact that Gerrard talked up the way the players had been training, the intensity level, the way that the players were almost gone for each other. And honestly, when I heard this, I found myself thinking back to something that Alan McCoy said about when he was in the Rangers squad. When he was playing, they would split training up to be Scotland versus England and they would kick the living you-know-what-ski out of each other every single training session because they had the mindset if you wanted to play at the weekend you had to get by the guy you're up against. And it looks like from what Steven Gerrard was talking about in this press conference, that's what's returning to the Glasgow Rangers, the real competitive edge. And if we're killing each other in training, can you imagine what we'll do to others that aren't even in our team? And at the end of the day, if we are returning to the way things used to be back then, if we can have half that success that squad did with the way that they trained, I'll be a happy man. Now, not a lot was said regarding the team, and again, it's so hard to break down because we don't know what our starting 11 is yet. I mean, this is us just getting to that moment where we'll find out where the pecking order is. But Gerrard did say one thing regarding the team selection because the season opener versus Kilmarnock is on Sunday. He said in his own words he'd be very, very surprised the starting 11 that starts versus Progress is the same one that starts versus Kilmarnock. And that's not to say that he's going to put out a weakened squad or anything like that. He's putting out 2 very capable and strong squads that he believes will be able to win both games. Right, the next part that was brought up during the press conference is something we need to get out of the way very, very briefly because I know you guys are sick of hearing about it. I'm sick of talking about it. It's obviously Ryan Kent. Now, if you missed my video on Ryan Kent the other day, pretty much Jurgen Klopp came out and said Ryan Kent will not be loaned out to any club this window. The time for loans is over. It's permanent transfers only. So as you can imagine, the press being in this country dove on that right away and asked Steven Gerrard all about it. At first, he just kind of came out and said on record that he understands and completely respects the decision made by Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool, and also quite classily thanked Liverpool for sending Ryan Kent on loan for the year as well. I quite like that. And because Gerrard answered the question, did the press move on from Ryan Kent and discuss actual things that matter like the game tomorrow? Of course they never. They continued to dig on Kent. And to keep it short and sweet, they asked him about the chances of bringing Ryan Kent up the road on a permanent transfer. He says it's something him and the board haven't discussed at all, and if he did speak to the board, it'd probably be too pricey to bring him up the road as well. So it looks like we've finally got an answer to Ryan Kent to the Glasgow Rangers. No. Right, enough of Ryan Kent. Now let's turn our attention to some team freaking news then, shall we? And starting off with the biggest story coming out of today, which is absolutely everywhere, is a £30 million bid for Alfredo Morelos from a Chinese club. Now, when Sky Sports originally wrote this story, they didn't name the club or anything, and that got the, you know, who's up there, and they were going, haha, name them, name the team, if it's real, name the team. 15-20 minutes later, Sky Sports did name the team with a follow-up tweet saying that they were willing to meet the evaluation that exceeds £15 million, but Alfredo Morelos isn't keen on the move. Now, the second one really confused me because the original story said that Rangers had rejected. Then they wrote a follow-up story and basically said Alfredo Morelos wasn't keen. So if they went straight to Alfredo Morelos and spoke to him, surely that's tapping up because it's legal to speak to the club first. Is that not the way it works? Am I wrong here? Am I just completely misunderstanding this? But that didn't seem right, the second one. Now, to get my thoughts and opinions out there very, very briefly, yes, the £30 million is a hell of a lot of moolah, which has been reported by Sky Sports, but I just don't think Alfredo Morelos would go to China because that would hurt his international chances. We all know he's not built money. He doesn't really care about money. I mean, he gives most of it back home to his family. That's not why he's in football. He's not a diva. He's not dancing, saying beans and all that. He wants to make it and play for Colombia. That's his dream, and also his dream is to play in the Premier League. So I think if Alfredo Morelos is going to leave the football club, it will be to a team in the Premier League, not to China, where it's not only going to hurt his international reputation, but it's also going to make it harder to eventually make it to the Premier League. So that's my thoughts on Alfredo Morelos. I want to know what your thoughts are. Would you have accepted the deal if it was real? And the last bit of transfer news that we will give you in today's video is that Jason Holt is edging closer to his exit, which is great for him to be back playing football because I like him. He's an honest lad who always gives 100%, so hopefully that deal gets done soon and he gets back to doing what he does best. However, taking a side step away from the transfer news and giving you an injury update based on tomorrow, and that's going to be that Stephen Davis will definitely not be involved. He has a little problem with his hamstring. It's a tight hamstring. Gerrard said he could potentially have pushed through the pain and played in the game, but being so early on in the season, he's not willing to risk it as of yet. Everyone else confirmed by Steven Gerrard is fully fit and ready to go if they are selected. But with all that being said, that's the press conference, the transfer news and the team news all wrapped up in a neat little bow. Now all that's left is for me and thee to get their predictions out there. Not one single person last week got 2-0 right, so let's get back to winning ways then, shall we? Get your predictions down in the comment section below, and while you guys are doing that, I will give you mine very, very briefly, simply because what I've already stated in today's video, they need to come at us. I think that's going to open up more gaps, and we'll sort of return back to the ruthless Rangers that we saw versus St Joseph. So I'm going to go big here, and I'm going to stick with what I said in the first leg. Rangers 4, Progress 0. Goal scorers very, very simply, Jermaine Defoe to hit 2. Scotty Arfield to score 1, because let's be fair, he owes us 1. And the last goal scorer is going to be the same one I picked last week, Tavernier. Now, he let me down last week, missed the set piece after I called it, but I'm expecting the captain to return to form and set it right tomorrow. And now that me and thee have had their say, let's jump over to Twitter and hear from the people then, shall we? There's been 1,675 votes. Honestly, thank you so much for getting involved. 4% votes for the draw, 8%, 8, are you joking? Percent votes for Progres Niederkorn. Keep calm, keep me calm. 88% of the people votes for a Rangers win. We've pulled it back. Philip Hugh McGregor writes in 4-0 Rangers. Arfield, Jack, Docherty and Alfredo Morelos to score the goals. I would like to see that, son. Ross Watson writes in 3-0 Rangers. Cranshaw, Wycorn and Cardozo. Corey Ferguson writes in 4-0 Rangers. We're back at it. Gary writes in it'll be tight 1 CJ, 2-1 to Rangers, the classic channel favourite. Kenny Smith writes in I'm going to go for a 3-0 to the famous. If they want to go through, they'll need to come at us and not sit back. So we'll get more space this time and hopefully we can be more clinical in front of goal. Edmondson Drive writes in oh, FFS, voted that lot by accident. Is this the kind of day it's going to be? Josh Gibson writes in 2-0 Rangers, Joe Aribo and Matty Polster to score the goal. We like to see Matty P getting some love. Ryan at Ryan Smith 55 writes, I picked Progress by accident. What happens now? Well, I'll tell you, Ryan. You and Edmondson Drive just ruined everyone's night. Are you happy now? And the last one we'll read out actually comes from Cameron McCallum, and he writes in 4-0 Rangers, Defoe, Jack, Morelos and Ojo. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people. You've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. Before we wrap up, I need to give a massive thank you to the absolute legend that are on the Patreon's account helping to support the channel every single month. And as always, I've been CJ Nova 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.